Okay, it's 9 o'clock, folks. Call to order this meeting, a special meeting of the Paradise Town Council. All stand. Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Dana.
Roll call. Vice Mayor Bowen.
Here.
Councilmember Crowder.
Here.
Councilmember Culleton. Here. Councilmember Tryon is absent, and Mayor Lazond.
Here.
Thank you.
Item 2A, consider approval of a proposed trip to be taken by Councilmember Steve Crowder to Washington, D.C. if necessary to advocate for H.R. 5863.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council members, as you know, you made the decision early this year to support a trip by Councilman Crowder to Washington, D.C. to support Congressman LaMalfa's H.R. 176 to bring tax relief to campfire victims. That has gone through a couple of iterations, and the content is now included in H.R. 5863 that the Congressman has been trying to move through a very difficult Congress, as you all know, as you've followed this. And so currently, their team has identified 3 paths for the bill. One would be to have it included in a larger tax bill, and then the other 2 approaches would both involve standalone consideration of the bill. So the same group that the council member traveled with earlier this year after the fire has been collaborating with the congressman's office to have support in Washington, D.C. if the standalone options for the legislation are considered. And so because we don't know exactly what's going to happen, but we do know it's all going to happen before the next time the council meets, the decision was made in consultation with the mayor to have a special meeting so that you can consider supporting Councilman Crowder going back once again to be available to work with the After the Fire team, which includes other communities that were affected by fires to advocate for the bill should the congressman see that need. And so that's the item that's before you, and just like council's direction.
Questions from the dais?
Only question I'd have is if this is the moment, should there be more than just one person going? Should we have the mayor go also?
That hasn't been discussed. If council wanted to do that, certainly you could. I think the desire is to have the regions represented, which is why after the fire, I think has, and Councilman Crowder can comment on that, people from different affected communities.
So Kevin Goss, the supervisor from Plumas County who went when I went, he's going again. Brad, so there's representatives of 4 of the fires. And what they were looking for is, the reason that they want me to go is because I'm an elected official, I lost my house, I lost my business, and it kind of covers the whole gamut of what's going on. I've been involved with the Fire Victim Trust, so I have some knowledge there.
Yeah, I'm not questioning that knowledge. I'm just wondering, would the impact be there with more people?
I think they're trying to keep, last time we went with like 30 people. And this time it's 4 people. So they're trying to keep the group smaller. I don't know that, one more would make a difference if that's the direction. We've got Senator Padilla is making contacts for Jennifer after the fire for people that we would need to see. I talked to John, who is LaMalfa's representative in D.C., and he's, again, we need to go. The southern senators are still kind of not supportive of the bill. The problem with a standalone bill is you go from a simple majority to 2/3 of a majority, which is not necessarily going to be a good thing. So we just need to get as many people on board with this as we can. And like I said, Jennifer's working real close with John and also with Padilla's office with getting us into the right people and seeing if need be. And we'll probably know towards the end of New Year's week whether it's going to go as a total tax relief bill or if it's going to stand on its own. And so if it stands on its own, we'll be there the week of January 8th through the 11th. And
So I don't want to get in the weeds too much, but they're not even in session then. How are they going to know by then?
well, they're working behind the scenes on it now, and as John's telling me right now, it's looking like it's going to be a tax relief bill, but they don't know for sure.
Okay.
So this is a backup plan if it doesn't go that way.
So two things, and one, this is get things set up if we have to do it. And then I don't see a budget for this. Is there?
Yeah, what was included is,
yes, amount.
not to include 40.
4,500, I'm sorry.
And that probably is gonna be high. Everything would be purchased as, refundable tickets. So I would purchase tickets now and then cancel them up until the day before, if we don't go.
Yeah, you're doing that to keep the cost down as opposed to buying at the last second, is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Okay.
And how many days are you going to be there to?
Monday through Thursday and come home Friday.
So if we approve this, then the town's credit card will be used to purchase all this stuff? Is it, and it's not known, right? It's not known whether or not it's gonna have to be, this is like.
We don't know that.
Yeah, so is it not possible to authorize, and maybe we can't because of how it's written, but I mean, just like if you go ahead and make reservations where you get reimbursed up to where the amount is, I mean, I don't know what the difference is. I know
You
we
can
have-
authorize the expenditure any way you want. And so
Pardon?
I said you can authorize the expenditure any way you want. You
Well,
can-
I'm thinking of a reimbursement thing because it just when they moved us out of some hotels at the League of Cities, there was a delay and we paid for that with town funds and then it took a while, plus there was a penalty, where they held some of the money.
For the town to get paid back, you're saying?
We did, yeah, it took a while to get paid back. I'm just saying, if it's not a big deal, I don't know. I mean, I'm not opposed to either way.
It doesn't-
I thought Greg's point was valid, I mean, but I hear what you're saying, like, they're trying to keep it small and, who knows, what's gonna happen.
Well, with the functionality of the way it's working there right now, nothing's for sure and.
Yeah, it's a zoo back there.
It's,
But it doesn't sound like, if they try to do it as a standalone bill, it doesn't, with the need for a 2/3 vote, it's like, is that what's gonna prompt this trip to try to go? I mean, if the southern states, if you got these people that are against it, this thing's been floating around for 2 years.
this is expanded from they had a cost factor when it was just the local fires
Right.
of $500 million. Now this bill is a $5 billion bill because it includes the Florida high-rise and several other disasters. They're trying to gain more support, outside of our fires. So this tax bill, and I don't remember the exact number that it was, but it was a huge amount, like $500 billion. So we're such a small portion of that. To go back and lobby for that would be nothing because we're a minor part of
So we
that.
wouldn't do, if that's what it is, we wouldn't do that? or-
Correct.
Okay, because another thing on Greg's point was when you guys went back there to talk to some committee, my opinion of what happens in DC is such, they gave you 5 minutes, I think that was valid, but I remember when he's trying to tell them who we are, they cut him off because, okay,
Yeah, this is different. This is not you're not testifying in a,
Okay.
in a senate. You're into individual offices and when we went, we had probably 45 minutes in there. Some of them, the senators or congressmen were involved, others it was just staff. But you had a significant amount of time to.
Okay, well, would it be appropriate to make a motion to authorize a reimbursement for this trip up not to exceed $4,000 should it materialize?
45.
45?
That's what's in the,
Well,
right now.
well, I don't know if I want to do, no, whatever's in there. I mean, I'm just, are you okay with that? Or
Yeah,
just
that's
use a
fine.
Reimbursement, because we don't know if it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
That way we're not tying up the town's credit card and trying to go cancel and get the money back. I mean, is that legitimate?
That's all fine.
Okay, well then I'll propose that motion.
Second.
Okay.
Motion by Culleton, seconded by Bolin, to authorize reimbursement up to $4,500 if the trip does happen. Okay. Roll call vote, Vice Mayor Bolin,
Aye.
Councilmember Crowder,
Aye.
Councilmember Lassonde,
Aye.
Councilmember Tryon is absent, and Mayor Lassonde.
Oh, aye.
I said, oh, sorry, Councilmember Culleton. Sorry, I messed up.
I was even under question whether Councilmember Crowder could even vote on it. So- No, I would have.
So I would just ask that,
Well, that's understandable. No, that's understandable.
I would just ask-
You don't know how to do that.
I would just ask that we get correspondence on what's going on and keep us up to date as to what's happening on that.
Yeah.
So-
Oh,
We're gonna
absolutely.
Find out later after the point, so.
No, we'll, and I want to thank council for allowing me to go. I think this is really important to this community, and I've been working really a lot with Lamalfa's office on this, and, you know, every time, we were so close before the speaker changed of getting this thing done. It was set to go to the floor to get a vote, and then everything changed.
Chief Nunn will pay for the trip.
My understanding is it's probably the last real shot at getting it passed, is that correct?
Well, that's not been said to me. That's kind of my personal opinion, is that if it doesn't go through this time, I don't know how many times they're gonna keep
Right.
bringing it back. And the sad part is, I mean, we talked to 30 different lawmakers, both sides of the aisle, and everybody supported it. So why you can't get it passed, I don't know.
And it's getting into a real hot political season as we head towards the election in the fall, so things,
They'll say stuff to your face and not do
Yeah.
it in the
Yeah.
vote sometimes.
okay. Item 2B, discuss and consider the accepting of the proposed amendment to the memorandum of understanding between the County of Butte County Sheriff's Office and Town of Paradise Police Department.
All right, good morning. So, as you all know, we started our dispatch center back up part-time July 17th of this year. As a result of that, the first couple of months went by and we determined that there was a lacking ability in the current MOU to account for hours covered by the sheriff's office and only, being billed for that portion. So what we ended up doing was deciding that we needed to amend the MOU to allow for us to phase back our dispatch services and pay the sheriff's office at an hourly rate for the time that they cover. Through the process, what you've seen in the proposed amendment is also a rate increase for that billable hour, and that's due to contract negotiations at the sheriff's office for hourly wage increases as well as just general employee costs. So that number is going up, but as we move through this process, the next step, January 5th, we'll be taking over dispatch services 7 days a week, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So we'll be taking back more hours. So you'll see that progressively as we move towards the end of the contract, which is June 30th of '24, we'll be taking over 24/7, and you'll just see those numbers slowly decrease. But the biggest piece of this MOU is allowing us the ability to just pay for the services being rendered and phase the dispatch services back in-house 100%. So that's where we are. If you have any questions.
So how much do you probably calculated out, and I just haven't been through this. How much does it add into our cost?
So looking at the rough numbers, since we just received the new proposal for the amendment, it looks like it's going to be a wash, but I'm going to work with finance over the next couple of weeks just to ensure that. So what we did is the original full coverage amount for paying the sheriff's office was included in this fiscal year, as well as the allotted full-time equivalent dispatchers. So we've accounted for full services being paid for as well as our staff. And so this number is going to go down even with the rate increase as we take the hours back. So I really think there's still going to be a cost savings at the end, but I want to ensure in case there's any need for adjustments at mid-year. But
We had it doubled?
well, I think, yeah, it was accounted for at the ongoing annual rate. I think it was for 4 full-time equivalents at the sheriff's office, like 387,000 or something. And so that number was left in the budget for this fiscal year.
Along with our full budget.
Correct.
Yeah, so, wow. Okay,
So,
didn't know that.
Any other questions? Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Crowder, seconded by Colleton to approve the amended MOU with Butte County and authorize staff to execute the amended MOU. Roll call vote, Vice Mayor Boland,
Aye.
Councilmember Crowder,
Aye.
Councilmember Colleton,
Aye.
Councilmember Tryon is absent, and Mayor Lassonde.
Aye.
And you feel like we're on course to achieving what we're trying to achieve by July 1?
yes, we are. We have another dispatcher, which is actually our administrative assistant that's in backgrounds that'll be starting in dispatch, I believe, the first couple of weeks of January, if not towards the end. And then we'll just have one more position to fill and train. So the caveat in this is that they're not willing to extend the MOU beyond June 30th, and so we have a firm timeline, and I'm confident that we'll make that.
Good.
Yeah,
Good job.
thank you.
That concludes the things on the docket, so meeting's adjourned.
Merry Christmas, Scott.
Thank you very much. Merry Christmas to all of you.
Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas. Yeah, everybody have a safe holiday.
You bet.
All right.
Can we just do all of these like this? Just nice and short?